already know what it is. Jay Williams, Let's Live Life, and we're back. Yes, it has been a minute. You're going to understand why after I show y'all some video clips. I hate to repeat myself. I hate to sound redundant and just say the same things over and over and over. But I fell back on one of those stages to where I've just become busy. Overwhelmingly, if that's a word, overwhelmingly busy. Y'all remember I did the video on the spooky old trap house? I'm just about done with that house. I'm gonna show y'all some clips. I'm gonna show y'all some clips here in a second. House turned out beautiful. It's what I do. It's why we've been in business as long as we have. It's why we never look for work. It's why I have the same investors I've had for a decade, because they know what to expect. I'm good at what I do. I take pride in what I do. But that house is coming to an end. This coming week, I will be in Boston from the 11th to the 13th. I'm leaving out the 10th, the night of the 10th, so that I can get to Boston that morning, where I will be hooking up with Ronnie Blue Eyes, Scandalous World.
That means you're food. I'm with a bad. You got the Nina too. I got a bad with it.
And some other podcasts while I'm there. So we can go through different parts of Boston, the parts that were once places you don't go, and the parts that are still places you don't go. That's what I've been up to, putting in crazy hours at work, because I want these houses done. I want to pursue my dreams. I want to live my dreams before they pass me by. 13 days without a video on YouTube, that's me noticing that I'm going to end up letting my dreams pass me by. So I had to get that house off the table. So now that I got all that out the way, birthdays in prison. I had some birthdays that were great. And I know it's hard to say that because you're locked. You have a great birthday when you're locked up. I had some birthdays that were great because I was surrounded by good men. Damn, it's Jay's birthday, man. We got to put on for Jay. I had a couple different homeboys do that. And it's a good feeling to be recognized, to have the guys around you say, hey, man, let's do something for Jay. And then I had birthdays that were really bad. There were birthdays I spit in the hole. Those are bad days. When it's supposed to be a time of celebration, and here you are at one of your lowest points in life, pacing back and forth, walking in circles in a cell. And that's how it is. I've also got a story for y'all today, and I've got to be careful on how I tell the story because I don't know what the outcome of the case was. I do know that people got in trouble, and I'm only going to speak on what I know the people know. I'm not going any further than that. I don't know how he by far went from thinking he was going to have one of the best birthdays to one of the most terrible and horrifying birthdays. My son's birthday was Friday. August 4th, he turned 6. We had his party. He had a pool party here at the house. And I want to say thank you to everybody that showed up. It was a good turnout. A lot of people showed up. Made his day very magical. Happy birthday to you. You ready to eat it? Noah, you ready to eat it? Okay. He had a party. I ain't never had no party like that. I'm glad that I was able to make that happen for my little man. So with all that being said, you know how to sing it. You know how to live it. So let's relive it. I spent some of my teenage years, those birthdays, incarcerated. I spent my 19th birthday incarcerated, my 20th, my 22nd, 24th, 25th, and all the way up until 34. Everything in between was spent incarcerated. There were times I was in the hole and I had nobody. I would get a card or I would get a letter, and it usually wouldn't show up on your birthday. People mail it out and then it'd show up like a day or two later. And it would mean the world to me. You'd be surprised if you've got somebody that's locked up that you care about, you love, send them a card. It's $2, $3, man. You're at Walmart, Target, wherever you may be. Snatch up a little birthday card, write their name on it, put their state number on it, and send it to them. You have no clue what that's going to mean to that person when it shows up. You kind of It breathes air in you. It's like you're not forgotten about. It's like you're not gone. Being locked up is, I think, as close to just being completely gone, to being dead, that you'll ever feel. Once some doors closed, and you've been sentenced, and you know, all right, I've got this amount of time to do. For real, during that period of time, it's almost like you're a dead man. Like they've put the nails in your coffin. Because you're not going to be seeing people like that. You're not really a part of what's going on outside of the world. Your world consists of the same things day in and day out. Violence, chaos, program. Do the same thing every single day. My first story is about a 20-year-old named Big B. Call him Big B because he used to always, everywhere he'd go, blood gang, throw up B's. And he'd always be screaming out, Big B. So everybody just called him Big B. This is a young dude, man. When this whole situation took place, that was his 20th birthday that I witnessed. Now, he was a very popular dude, but he was also very loud. I don't like loud people. I don't like over-the-top people. I don't like obnoxious people. I don't like people that just make noise for no reason, right? I'm a pretty calm person, pretty laid back, so I don't like just unnecessary noise. But Big B, and he wasn't big dude. You're talking a dude that maybe soaking wet was 135, 140 pounds. Like the bank people. I never seen him shoot a one-on-one fight. I watched him jump people, but he would always have like 6, 7 of his homeboys with him. It's real common when it comes to the gangs in there if you're not affiliated, right? And even when they would violate, he would always be front line to help violate somebody. But that's also because he knows that he's got a couple other dudes with him that are going to make sure they smash dude out. But we fast forward, this dude runs around, Big B, throwing up all these signs, making all this noise, always causing chaos. He was always in a situation, always had his gang beefing with people. And I don't know what it was about the dude. I knew something was off with this dude. I didn't know anything about his paperwork. Unfortunately, at this time, they weren't checking paperwork. So just because you were in a state where they check paperwork, don't mean that every state does that. I've told you in the past, our general rule is, I want to know who I've got around me. Who are you? What are your charges? Why are you in here? That right there is going to determine whether I can rock with you or not. I never had that rapport with dude. Never had a reason to. Not no gang member. Didn't run with his set. So I had no reason to know what his charges were. But when I'm telling you there was something off about the dude, I sensed it, and how other people didn't get it, I'll never know. But you know, you ever just been around somebody, you just like, I don't like that dude. And somebody asks you why, you're like, I don't know, man. It's just something about him. I don't like the dude. We fast forward, in the time frame that he was in where I was at, in the prison I was at, in the pod I was at, a young dude caused so much chaos. Now, this was prior to me being the tattoo man. He ended up getting a tattoo from the tattoo man, and when it was time to pay the tattoo man, he bucked. The tattoo man is not the guy you buck on. Guys are going to deal with you. Because if you buck on him and he says, I ain't doing no more tattoos until I get paid, everybody's going to look at you. Tattoos it's a part of prison. You can't go to prison and not have a tattoo man. But we had a tattoo man at the time, and he balked. Got this big old tattoo on him, and then decided, man, I ain't paying. There ain't nothing you can do about it. Big B's around this bitch like, my homeboys will handle that if you want to do something. And he can't just smash this dude out. I mean, he could. But after he does, they're going to come in there and they're going to rain hellfire on him. That cell door is going to open, and it's going to look like people trying to evacuate a burning building when they come in. Because they're going to come in deep, and they're going to do bad things to you. So he goes to the lead blood dude that was in there, and there wasn't a lot of bloods in this pod at the time. I think there was maybe 6, which is a low number, considering I've been in pods that had 30 plus. But there was like 6 of them. There was more next door than anything. Next door was really jumping when it came to them. I think in between over there, they had probably in between 30 to 40 of them, right? So the tattoo man goes to the lead blood and tells him, yo, he ain't pay up. What you mean he ain't pay up? I just did that tattoo. I know y'all seen it, because first thing you do when you get a tattoo, hey, check me out. You go start showing your tattoo off. Dudes want to walk around the yard. It's like a billboard. You're broadcasting it. You want everybody to see your new tattoo, right? He's showing everybody, but what he ain't telling everybody is, man, I ain't pay that man. I bucked on him. So he goes to the lead blood dude, and the lead blood dude tells him, what you mean he ain't pay you? He ain't pay you. He just straight said, I'm bucking, and walked out the cell. All right. appreciate you coming to me and not do anything crazy that's going to make us have to do anything crazy. What do you owe you? So I'm not sure the amount, but I know that the blood dude paid it. The lead blood dude didn't have to pay it. But on him being a good dude, him being a stand-up dude, him having morals, he paid it. Come in the cell. And we all kind of watched. I didn't know when he went in that cell, the dude was just going to smash him out and be like, don't ever question me about my homeboy. If my homeboy makes a decision, I'll rock with it. But that ain't what he did. He played fair. He called dude in there and paid it. Meanwhile, Big B's at school. They used to call school in the daytime. You could do college courses. You could do trades. There's a lot of different things you could actually do to occupy your time, make yourself a better person. I did it. Look at me. B comes back and they call a meeting. Mind you, I told you there's not a lot of them in the pod. They call a meeting and they all go to the cell where the big homie is. And he goes over there and I hear him talking about something. I know y'all ain't rocking with the white boy like that. Like, if I buck, I buck. Like, you know what I mean? That's what we do. They weren't feeling him. So they take B in the cell and they violate him. Whoop his ass. Needed it. And that kind of knocked the chip off his shoulder. Calmed him down for a little bit. And after that ass was kind of, I ain't gonna say moped around, kind of poked his chest out a little bit. To be honest, like, yeah, I'm 135 pounds. He just took yada, yada, yada for a certain amount of seconds, and I'm all right. But he wasn't as loud as he was. We get a bunch of new dudes. They like to change things up on a constant basis. They like to take people out, bring people in. They don't never want you to get too comfortable. That's why I got a job, because then I'm dug in. Once I get a job, y'all can't move me because now you need me. So back to the story. I told y'all there was something off about dude. I've been wrong before. I'm human. But there was just something different about dude. I couldn't put my finger on it. The dude was a gunner, but a lot of younger dudes are gunners. They got a lot of testosterone, you know what I mean? They're 19, 18, 20 years old, locked up, and not able to be with a female, so they're constantly in the shower on some plaka, 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 staring at the girl when she ain't looking, buying up all the freak pictures and all the nudes. Like, he had that energy where he was a gunner, and it just, I don't know, man. Something just didn't sit right with me. At first, I chalked it up to him just being loud, obnoxious, rude, acting like he's built like that, and he ain't built like that. He joined that gang 100% because he wasn't built like that. He didn't come in the prison in the gang. As soon as he got in the prison, he got down, and that's when he became Big B. That's when he went from being whoever he was to Big B. Big B's in his, that's when everything changed up. Now, when I first seen him come in, he was not the same dude that he was when you fast forward 8 months when everything took place that I'm about to talk about. When he first came in, nah. He was like a little rabbit that had been dropped in a cage full of hungry dogs, scared to death, quiet, staying out the way. But now he's Big B, 135 pounds, soaking wet, Big B. Big B's all day, blood gang, making the most noise. I couldn't pin it. So aside from him just being obnoxious and me not liking him, he's also from what we call the 7 cities, 757, dude from Portsmouth. Now I'm 804, 804 is Richmond. At this point in time, 804 and 757, which are two different parts of the map, we were beefing pretty heavy. I came in right after a full-fledged war had taken place, and things were somewhat getting back to normal. Like, the compound had been on lock for a while. People got hurt really, really bad. Like, it was a full-fledged Braveheart-style war that popped off on the wall. This team just happened to be from Portsmouth, 7 cities, 757. And at this place, I would say there was more of them than there was us. Now, we're not talking gangs. We're talking locations. A lot of states do that. You click up according to your city or whatever. But the difference was, at this point in time, the 804 cats, the majority of us that were in there had very, very violent charges. The majority of the 804 cats that I did time with were lifers. They had bodies. They had cases that had made the news. Some of these dudes had multiple bodies. And then you got the 757 cats who were going hard. And let me get up here and try to disrespect nobody from 7 cities, because that ain't what it was. But at that time, it just so happened that the guys that we had with us were just on a different type of time when it came to violence. So what the whole point of me telling you that is that he made a name for himself in the prison, but he was also known in the jail. out in Portsmouth where he was from. But he wasn't known for being Big B. He wasn't known for being what he was known for being now. He'd been known for being something completely different, to where he ended up doing the majority of his time in the hole because he couldn't do it on the main line. We're constantly getting new guys. All the time we're getting new guys in prison. Guys are shipping from here, shipping from there, coming from jail, coming from receiving. Guys are coming and going on a daily basis. Well, we get a bunch of new guys. As I told you, they like to move people around. Big B stays. The other gang members in there, for the most part, stay. None of the Bloods got separated. Actually, we got more Bloods in there, which brought the numbers up to almost double what they were. But somebody from his jail shows up there. And instantly, the room changes. He notices him, goes to a couple guys and starts talking, because now he sees him throwing up gang signs. This ain't the same dude he was in jail with. This dude's got some homeboys behind him. So if he wanted to do something to him, now there's a chain of command he's got to go through to get at him. If he just runs up on him himself and, hey man, I remember you from the jail, and just starts doing things to him, what these dudes are gonna be on him fast. They're gonna cut him down in there. This dude will go on to start whispering and making rumors and saying things. And the things he said made it back to the lead blood and made it back to some other bloods. Big B's got bad papers. Big B's in there for messing with his younger sister. His younger sister went to school, and this is all facts. This is nothing that's my opinion, my thoughts, nothing that's not real. His younger sister had went to school, and they said that she kept adjusting in her seat. You're talking a third, fourth grade little girl. And kept moving in her seat to the point that the teacher, seeing that she was uncomfortable, something was wrong, so they pulled her out of the class, into the counselor, principal. They ended up calling the police, at which point she told them that her brother had been doing things he shouldn't have been doing. Guess he couldn't control that whatever he had inside of him. Guess the girls in the neighborhood, you thought I was feeling you? Weren't feeling him like that. So he turned that I don't know what you want to call it, but he turned towards his little sister. And he did things to her that messed her up. And the school found out about it. And the cops got involved. And they took her to the hospital. They did their sample. They did their kit. They went to the house, picked him up for questioning. And it wouldn't be long, he would be arrested and sent off to prison for 5 years. All this was a secret. This man is, I ain't gonna say infiltrated, because he didn't infiltrate. He's joined a gang. He's running around in there repping that gang. Now I will give the Bloods this. They're not playing that. They find out you got something like that on your jacket, or that's your charge. They do not care how much time y'all have invested in each other, how long you've been a part of that gang, what y'all's history is, what your rank is. They're gonna deal with you. Because A, they've got to send a message that they don't get down like that. And they don't agree with that. They don't condone that. And B, you joined up knowing you had this. So you pretty much played all of us. Or you played us for protection. And the dude said when he came in, one of the first things the rumor started was, well man, that's crazy to see him out in general population. In the jail, he was PC'd up. He was in the hole the whole time. He couldn't walk around in the pod. Dudes wanted to get at him. His case was all over TV. And y'all just got him in here. Big B, Big B, Big B. Like gang banging. Like, what they do that at? Dude calls home. And this wasn't a time when you could just jump on the internet and just look. Like you had to like really send your people to go find out. You had to really put in some footwork to get this type of stuff. And I don't know what dude had his girl do, or his mom do, or his sister do, or his homeboy do, or whoever he called. But he put them in position where he needed to know about this dude. I need to know what his case is, what he's locked up for. They pushed up on him and asked him, and he told them he was in there on some gun stuff, some robbery stuff, and that he was really getting it in the streets. He was a savage, and you know, what's up with it? Who said that? And meanwhile, they're not saying anything. They're not even, and dude had to know. He was in jail with that dude. But maybe they didn't have no rapport in jail. Maybe he wasn't in the pod long enough to know that he actually knew that dude. Maybe when he checked in, this dude was just a bystander standing in the crowd. They got a glimpse of him that didn't forget his face. that hadn't forgot its news article that was all over TV. Whatever the case may be, it comes back. And everything I just told y'all that is 100% facts about this dude comes back to the Bloods. This young dude's birthday's coming up. His day of celebration. Time to celebrate this little piece of trash, right? Now, you can go to the back gate, and the gate separated the two pods. Now, you got a lot of different dudes throughout there that got ranked, that got pulled. You got dudes that got kind of like job titles when it comes to gangbanging. And they have a meeting at the back gate. Now, they have this meeting in the daytime when this dude is at school, so that he can't overhear what's going on. Now, mind y'all, I've told y'all, I did not stay far from where this gate is. I could stand it. Sometimes I could be sitting in my cell and I could hear the conversations that were going on. I was that close. But if I was to stand at my door, anywhere near my door, or next to the toilet that's right inside, when you step inside my cell, I could hear whole entire conversations. And the conversation pretty much consisted of, we need to get him in one spot and do it where everybody can see it. And then one dude said, yo, his birthday's coming up Thursday. Why don't we just set up a party for him, set up a prize party for him. Get him out in the yard and let's really celebrate him. But we got to put him on display because everybody, and at this point, heard about it. Once it came to him, he said, no, it's not what happened. I got robbery charges, I got a gun charge. It's not really what happened. Thursday morning rolls around. He's supposed to go to program. He's supposed to go to school. But they want him on the yard. Now, not only do I hear this, but I know this is bad. And I started hearing the rumors. My cellie tells me, somebody tells him, several people have told me, but nobody better tell him. That's ratting at its finest. If you go tell that man what's coming, well, then they're not just going to deal with him. They're going to deal with you too. Because that forewarning is going to give him time to check in, to get up out of there, to beat feet, to run off to the hole, to tell the guard he fears for his life. Standard birthday procedure in prison isn't a whole lot. It's just your homeboys get together. Y'all might make a meal. They might make you a cake. You know what I mean? We go, we're making the sweets with the honey buns, the cookies, and the cream out the cookies, and the sugar packs, and like, you know, we do our thing with the cooking, right? The standard tradition when it comes to a birthday is, it usually happens at night. You usually do it inside the pod, inside where you live at. But with them, there were so many of them, they tried to make it seem like, you know, the whole squad wants him out there so they can, you know, just chill with him, kick it with him, celebrate with him, come out, hey, we got something for you. They made it appear they was gonna smoke. Now that's something I've done on many birthdays. My homeboys and them get them, hey, come out on the yard today. Hey, if we got a night wreck tonight, come out, we're gonna blow some tree with you. So he goes out there underneath the pretense that that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna go out there, they're gonna roll up, they're gonna walk the track, and they're gonna smoke, and they're gonna smoke, and they're gonna smoke, and at the time they can still smoke in prison, so some dudes might throw in some cigarettes. Whatever the case may be, they've got this boy coming to the yard under the assumption that it's a party, that they're gonna celebrate his birthday. That morning everything happened was a Thursday morning. I was supposed to go to work, he was supposed to go to classes. There's certain things I just gotta see, especially when it comes to the mo's, the PDF files, the dudes that like to diddle and mess with the children. If I know something like that's about to take place, I wanna watch. I wanna see him get what he's got coming. Take stuff like that personal. I know people that have been victimized, so, and them not getting their justice, sometimes seeing somebody else get theirs, it's a good feeling. It's a good day when you see a piece of garbage like that get dealt with. I just didn't see it going to the extent that they took it to. I'd seen blood on blood beef in the past, and I'd seen blood on blood wars in the past. But this was the first of its kind. I hadn't seen them find out that one of theirs had a heinous crime. And then on top of that, I'd never seen them deal with one of theirs having a heinous crime. So I didn't really know what to expect. I figured it'd be a beat down, some feet on him, and they put him off. Put him off means get him up out of the gang, you're no longer affiliated with us. Cover that tattoo up that you didn't pay for to begin with. The Thursday morning comes around, they call wreck. Now you've got guys coming from every single building that are blood. They've all got the kites, they've got the letters, they've got the word. Y'all need to be on the yard. We got a situation we got to handle. Big B, you know the boy that's always running around screaming Big B's in his big. Yeah, we need to handle him. He did this. Everything about him has been passed around to different dudes in different buildings that got rank. And I guess as these dudes read his charges and read out the actual emotions discovered and everything that he had done and everything the police knew, it rubbed people the wrong way. We got mothers, we got sisters, we got aunts, we got daughters. There's a lot of things you can do in prison that a man would be like, not a big deal. But when it comes to children, women, those type of charges, there ain't no, somebody's gonna do something real bad to you. So they call outside rec. I'm all the way in the back, right? The cell's not far from the door. I go out. When I get on the yard, they're starting to let people out of other buildings onto the yard too. So when I come out at this point, on any given Sunday, it was easy for there to be 600, 700 people on the yard. But at the point that I get out, since I'm close to the back gate and I'm in the first cluster of people coming out, there isn't but like 40, 50 people on the yard. But I can already see that the bloods that have started coming out of these buildings have all started going in the same direction to mob up. Now he's getting his stuff out of his cell, grabbing his towel, grabbing this, grabbing that, just kind of procrastinating. Not that he knows anything's wrong, just taking his sweet time, making all this noise, just being his obnoxious, normal self. He makes his way on outside. He's in the last group of guys to come outside. By the time he gets outside, they're all squatted up. We used to have these picnic tables, and they had like this green fiberglass top on it. It's a big picnic table with a big A-shaped covering on it, so you can try to escape the sun, right? They've since cut these off, and I think this was the reason why. But if you get next to that picnic table on the back side of it, that guard in that tower cannot see through that green fiberglass, plexiglass material, whatever that stuff was. And it's a blind spot. If you get right up next to the building, it's a blind spot. There's a cubby hole in the back where we played handball, same door that we came out of. There's a blind spot, but that table was a perfect blind spot. If you got on the opposite side of it, you could mob down 10, 15 deep and not really be seen because it was just such a blind area. They're all mobbed up at the bleachers, mobbed up at the tables, and you see that it's almost like everybody knows but him. How do you not know? In the moment they questioned you about what you had done, you should have known. But this goes back to being young, dumb, cocky, thinking you know everything, you're untouchable, you're blood now, so can't nobody do nothing. So he comes on out, like I said, everybody's mobbed up. It is a small ocean of gang members. I don't think I can get close to the number of dudes they had out there. They had enough dudes out there on that day that if they decided they wanted to declare war against all the rest of us on the yard, they would have won. So they get up next to the table, and you got all types of different dudes rolling up. We used to roll up what's called a feezy. A feezy is the paper that comes from the inside of a black and mild, right? You got dudes rolling up feezies, dudes rolling up joints, dudes passing around Newports, packing Newports, passing around roll-ups, like just doing what they do when they celebrate somebody's birthday, or it's just a moment of celebration in general. Dudes are smoking, they passing back and forth to him. Everybody's laughing, joking, walking like, "What up, boy? Your birthday, huh? That's what's up." Dapping him up, hugging him. He's standing there smoking. He passes off to somebody. And they had a dude that used to run with them that was infamous for knocking dudes out. And he wasn't the biggest dude in the world, but he knew how to throw that thing and twist it when he threw it. And if he caught you, he was going to knock you out. B goes to smoking, and by now about 30 minutes has passed. This didn't hop off right when the yard starts, because in the beginning of the yard opening up, there might be a guard lingering around somewhere. But they're going to let the yard get to running, and it's just us doing what we do, and there's no guards on the yard. They going about their business. They're going to go back in the building, into the office where there's AC. It's summertime outside. It is hot. They're not trying to be out there. So the only thing you've got to protect you is that guard in that tower. And if you fall in an area where you can't be seen, Lord help you. And then every now and then a perimeter vehicle, which is a vehicle that drives around the prison 24/7, 365 days a year, just to make sure that you ain't stuck in the razor wire trying to climb over top, which I've seen as well. That truck will come by every now and then. So you'll put a lookout down there to watch for the truck. And if the truck comes, he'll, "Hey, yo," send out a signal or whistle, or give you some type of sign to stop whatever you're doing. The truck's coming. Because the truck will stop, get out, and he'll start documenting people. He's going to get binoculars and all that, and he's going to shut it down. He's going to radio in. Yeah, this gets such. He might even know some of the inmates. They're smoking. He passes this thing off, and the dude I told you about, I told you I can't use no names. The dude I told you about that was infamous for knocking dudes out, walks up, standing behind him, and we just kind of watch. And I'm awful ways. I mean, better part of 65, 70 feet away. I'm all the way at the end of the sidewalk, and they're all the way down here. But I see dudes stand up, walk up behind him, and he's just kind of grinning. Like, the other dudes know what's coming. He don't realize this dude is standing behind him. And he turns, and he passes it. When he does, he turns his jaw sideways, and dude hits him. Pow! Slides him. Well, with him standing beside his picnic table, that guard couldn't see that hit. He falls, it hits the ground, and it goes to boots. Now, usually gang members won't kick their own. They usually won't even hit when they're on the ground. They'll let them get up, and then they'll line it back up. But that wasn't what happened. They ain't lining back up. They just started stomping him. You got dudes that would reach down, grab him by his shirt, and hit him. And that first one, in all honesty, I wish it wouldn't have knocked him out. For what he did to a child, he should have wore that. He should have felt every blow. He should have felt what came next. But when dude caught him, he laid him all the way out. And there's pavement right there in front of those picnic tables, in front of the bleachers. There's a whole strip of just sidewalk. So he falls. Boom, timber. I'm talking 10-man, body stiff, falls straight forward. Bang, smacks his face on the pavement. You see that splat, and he just laid there. And dudes are stomping him, doing him dirty. Every bit of what he deserved and then some. Kicking the back of his head, kicking him in his face, kicking him in his body. And it's so many guys that for the largest part, like, a lot of guys stood off to the side. And they kind of just made like a circle to where the commotion that was taking place, even if you could see it, you couldn't really see it because there was like an ocean of people there. But I'm not far enough away that I can't see what's going on. What I can see is that dudes are kicking him, dudes are stomping him, and this is going bad for him real fast. Like, I don't know if their intent was to just break him all the way down, or if they were really trying to take him out. Because every time somebody would step on the back of his head, I'm like, oh, that's it. They just cracked his whole melon. Like, there's no way Timberland versus head and head versus concrete that you're going to win. But this would continue to take place to the point that dudes that were kicking him, dudes that were punching him, they would pull back, and other dudes in the crowd would move in, and they would do the same thing. They were putting on in the name of that little girl. They were putting on in the name of, you don't do that. Yes, we're all criminals. True indeed. We've all been convicted. We've all committed a crime. We're all in here because we couldn't get right in society. We're doing what we got to do is try to make things right. But some things just ain't acceptable. Messing with your little sister is not acceptable. Messing with a child is not acceptable. We feel no pity for you. Whatever happens to you out there happens to you. Let it happen. Ain't nobody out here about to feel bad for you unless they got similar charges or they enjoy the type of stuff you do. Any grown man that's got any type of heart, any sense, any family, any sense of, just being a good person isn't going to feel bad for that piece of garbage on the ground. I don't care if he was 20 years old. At 20 years old, 18 years old, you know not to mess with your little sister. So as I said, they rotate in and out, stomping him. At this point, it's complete overkill. Will he ever move again? Are they taking him out of here in a bag? Like, it's over with. There's another dude that's with them that is, they had that dude for one reason and one reason only. He was blood for one reason and one reason only. And that's because he was a killer. Like, when I mean he was a killer, he was never going home. He had taken lives in the streets. And from what I'd heard and things that make their way through the prison, he had put that blade in several dudes in the prison. Well, now everybody's starting to break off and peel off into groups, and the dude's still laying there, and this dude comes out. Dude between everybody walks up and does what I don't think he's going to do. I think he's going to get his licks in, he's going to get his kicks in, he's going to punch him, he's going to boot him, he's going to stomp the back of his head and cause more damage like everybody else has all done. Not what he does. He's got a shirt in his hand. He's got a blue shirt wrapped in his hand. He drops the shirt and he comes out with a knife. And he leans over. And he doesn't do it fast. He doesn't do it violently. It's not like some Michael Myers type stuff. No. He leans over and the boy's not moving. So I don't understand. Maybe he did it so he could pull it out. But he puts his hand in the center of his back. Like just kind of pushing him there. And just takes the knife and just pushes it in him. Pulls it out. Pushes it in him. Pulls it out. And pushes it in him a third time. Pulls it out. Almost like you would just take a knife and just push it in the ground. That's what it reminded me of. Like if you just took a knife and slowly just pushed it down into the ground. He took that knife, put it in that boy 3 times. Just stuck it in him real slow. Pull it out, look around at people. And you got some of these dudes that they ain't built like that. They ain't never seen nothing like that. They didn't expect that. Pulled it out 3rd time, and that's when the boy really started leaking. These dudes start dispersing, the perimeter vehicle comes around and they see it. They see that, all right, large crowd just breaking up. He radios, hey, there's something going on the yard on such side. You know, people dispersing. They're trying to avoid the perimeter vehicle. We got guys changing clothes. They're changing clothes. Some of these guys got blood on them. They came out in double T-shirts, expecting to get bloody. Taking this bloody shirt off, throwing it by the building. Homeboy got a shirt for him. They might throw that on. Like, you got dudes swapping clothes. You got dudes running. There's a urinal on the side of the building, and then there's a water faucet. Both of those no longer work, but they used to. You got dudes going over there washing their arms like they did this dude the dirtiest. So you got the officer outside the compound in this little SUV that's now radioed. He's trying to keep track of where guys are going, but guys are mixing and mingling. It's gonna be hard for you to pinpoint one particular person and actually get him locked up, right? So it'd be maybe a matter of 20, 30 seconds before he had the distress call. He sees now that everybody's dispersed, there's a man laying on the ground, and he's got a light blue shirt on. We wore these light blue, almost Carolina blue shirts with these blue jeans. He sees there's a man down. And I can guarantee you, even from the distance he was, which was a good ways away, at this point the boy was leaking so bad, not just from the beat down, but mostly from the back of the head stomp, when his head would get stomped and his face would hit the pavement, and from when, I ain't gonna say his name, walked up and slowly pushed that blade into him 3 times, it became an entire mess. Like the dirt became saturated, the sand changed colors, the sidewalk started to fill up. They run on the yard. We're all done split off. I'm on the opposite side of the yard now. Don't need to be nowhere near there. I saw what I wanted to see. I served no purpose being over there. Justice was served. Dude got what he deserved. His little sister, she'll never be the same, but at least he got dealt with. Maybe he'll think twice when he goes back out in society before he does something else like that, right? They run up on the yard. 10, 15 deep comes officer. You can always hear their feet. It's like them boots, the military boots hitting the concrete, and them keys hanging from the sides, and them walkie-talkies making them skirt noises as people are calling in and calling out. It's a noise that you get trained to hear. It's almost like hearing like a SWAT team running. And some of these men are so big just because they're needed, especially the goon squad, they're big. Anytime you got a group that big dispersing, you don't know if it was just a gang war, you don't know what's going on, how many people might be down, so they send in the reinforcements. They come out there, it's just one man down. Big B's out this bitch. Big B's like to play with little sister out this bitch. And he's really out this bitch. Man down. No sooner than they get to him, they call in, hey, we need the nurse, we need the nurse, we need the nurse. The nurse comes. Meanwhile, we lay down. They're walking around looking at us. They're looking at everybody on the ground. They're walking through. Don't move, don't move, don't move, don't move. Ain't nobody moving. We're just laying here. You know what I mean? I'm on the other side now, nowhere near anything. I was near it when they called a stress call, but I didn't play no part in it. I didn't do anything. I just watched. They catch a couple little dudes here and there. Hey, he's got blood on his boots. Grab him. Hey, he's got blood on his boots. They could swap the clothes, but they couldn't swap the boots. The dudes ain't like the brightest. Like, you over there washing your hands in the urinal. Stick that damn boot in the urinal. Wash that boot off. Get that blood off. Get the side of his head off your boot. They would end up taking about 10 guys off the yard. Not even handcuffed, zip tied. When you got that many guys going, officers ain't trying to lose their cuffs. This guy's gonna get turned over to this guard and this guard. Now you ain't got no cuffs. So they got these big plastic zip ties that'll cut the hell out of you. They start zip tying dudes. Zip, 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 zip. Take him up out of there. I'm under the impression he's dead. He's gone. He's in the upper room. There's no possible way after all that boot stomping, that head versus concrete versus boot, and then that blade, that he's going to be walking around again. Well, I told you, at this point, we had a lot of workers in our bar. We had infirmary workers, we had kitchen workers, we had rec yard workers, maintenance workers. One of the guys in the infirmary comes back and says, I don't know, man, I think he's ghost. Like, they took him up out of here, boom, flighted him. That was one of I didn't see a whole lot of med flights. It's got to be real bad because the hospital's not but about 20 minutes away. Like, the main hospital in that town is only about 20 minutes away from the actual prison. So in the time it takes them to get a helicopter there from the hospital and then get him back there, a lot of times they can just throw you in the truck and boom, get you straight to the hospital. That would be one of the few times I've seen a helicopter drop down in the field. They'll put him on the gurney and run him straight over to the helicopter, and the helicopter would take off. Dude working in the infirmary says, hey, he's ghost. Yeah, there's no sheet on his name that says out for hospital. There's no sheet that says, ICU, because a lot of times they would put down if an inmate went out, where he was and when his expected return date was, all that. He's like, the chart don't say nothing about it. Better part of a month passes, he comes back. Hey, Big B's, he's alive. Come again? He's alive. but he's all messed up, like mentally messed up. Like they got him over the infirmary, and he ain't talking. He's wrapped all up, and his face is reconstructed. He's got gauze and wraps, and like, yeah. Then he comes back one day and says they shipped him. They shipped him off to a prison that deals with old folks, that deals with disabled guys, that deals with guys that I'm not gonna say are crazy, but have like dementia, that have gotten older, and they're just of no threat to anybody. They ended up shipping him off to a place where he would have to be taken care of. And if I had to guess, after what I seen them do to his head on that concrete, he'd be taken care of the rest of his life. I can promise you this. I don't see him or foresee him ever messing with another child. Yes, that was an extremely long video, but y'all know when I go away and I come back strong, I come back hard. Y'all already know what it is. Y'all know I'm gonna put it down. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna show just a little bit of the birthday party. I peeled off. I'm not big on putting people on camera that don't want to be on camera. I'd say total, we probably had maybe 35, 40 guests at my son's 60th birthday party. Thank you to everybody that showed up. I love all of y'all. I appreciate every single last one of y'all. Y'all made my son's day just magical. He thought with it being summertime that like not a lot of people were gonna show up. He's like, Dad, my friends from school ain't gonna show up. Like, they only do that during school, but now school's out, they're not gonna know about it, they're not gonna remember. The last day of school, I passed out flyers to his birthday party. He's like, they're not gonna remember. And the pool was packed with adults and kids, and then the kids left, and then the parents of the kids from school left, and then it just became adults, and it was jumping to say the least, man. We got it popping. And we didn't let that interfere with his birthday. By then he was beat down, exhausted, tired. The other kids had went where they were gonna go, so we just had some adult fun, man, just chill. But I slid off a couple different times, did some recording. I'm gonna share that with y'all, and then I'm gonna get up out of here and let y'all get back to y'all's day. Also, dropped the video with A New Life of Woody. Go check out A New Life of Woody interviews Jay Williams. We did that the same night. Good man. All right, so next up on the plate, my son's 6th birthday party has now come to an end, and we're about to start the interview with Woody. You got 40 guys right outside your cell, 10 feet from your cell. Glad he had me on. Let's get into some of these clips from the birthday party. Damn, it's hot. All right, so it's cake time. It's cake time. Happy birthday to you.
Go to the sky. Well, I'm
You ready to eat it?
boy, okay? I know.
Noah, you ready to eat it?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. So, back to the birthday party. Just trying to tap in between everything I got going on. So it's a good day. But man, 6, man. I wasn't around to watch my other son grow up. There's nothing I would give to be able to go back and get those years back that I lost with him, and I can't. But what I can do is make sure that while I'm here, I do everything I should do and can do as a dad. And I do that. Let's go have some fun. This is actually, before I get too far off track, I don't show y'all much. I show y'all little bits and pieces, but kids have their playground. So they don't have to go to the park. They just come do their thing. And I really don't like putting people on camera that don't want to be on camera, but it was a great show out. A lot of kids. Let anybody ever tell you you can't do anything. You'll do what you want to do. And as long as that's within legal limits, you'll do what you want to do. Don't settle. If you're okay with, whatever it is that makes you happy, then that's cool. You don't have to have all that extra stuff. You just do what makes you happy. Be with who makes you happy. Live the life that makes you happy, whether it's simple, elegant, extravagant, whatever it may be. Live your life. This is Jay Williams. Let's live life. And I look forward to living life. And that's that. And here I am, back at work, back at the trap. This house was disgusting, man. But I do this so that I can do that. And when y'all wondering why I'm not recording, this is what I'm doing. I'm guaranteeing that my family eats. I'm securing the bag, securing the future. There's no reason you should just get one bag when you can get two, or you can get three, or you can get four. This is guaranteed, and I think that's the biggest issue I have with letting it go, but I've got to let it go. Great day. And you know what? If you didn't watch the whole video, you don't even know that my son's birthday stuff was included. If you clicked out at 25 minutes, 30 minutes, then you missed all this. So there's a couple different morals to today's story. Number one, with the kids, with my son, just be a father. Just be there. You don't have to do everything. You do what you can. Let them know that you care. Tell them daily that you love them. Tuck them in at night. Hug them randomly. Love your children. Lead by example. I would never lead my son down the wrong road. I like to say I'm a great role model. I talk to him constantly. Big on talking. And then the second part was, well, the whole story I told today. What happens in the dark eventually comes to light. You can run around thinking that you can fool the world, and you're eventually going to get caught. You don't mess with no children, man. Say that again. You don't mess with no children. You don't mess with no women. You don't do something against somebody's will, especially a child or a woman. And it falls in the category of men as well. And if you do, don't think that judgment day won't come. Some only get judged when they finally make it to wherever their next stop is. But for a lot of y'all gonna get judged way before then. Big B's in his, caught his judgment, and he'll never be the same. He came in prison thinking he was a tough guy, like made this whole concoction story up of how he got jammed up while he was in prison. It was all a lie. He was a PDF file. He was a chomo. And big shout out to all them boys. Y'all know who y'all are. I still talk to some of y'all. Big shout out to all y'all, man, for taking care of that situation. I don't wish ill on anybody. But some people just deserve whatever it is they get. It's the price you pay for the games you play. You want to play games like that? Don't nobody feel sorry for you. Yeah, watched. You'd have watched too, believe it or not. As I've told y'all, Thursday, boom, I'm gone. I'm out, headed to Boston. And I'll be back Monday. Got a whole lot of recording to do, a whole lot of YouTube to do. I'm gonna try to drop one more video probably Wednesday and try to get a live in between that. And we're gonna really turn this back up. I cannot let this take away what I love. I love you guys. I love the camera. I love YouTubing. I love social media. I love my presence. I love sharing my stories. It's therapeutic. It gets stuff out of my head. I stop dreaming about it. It's done a lot for me. You guys have done a lot for me with the comments. And to the naysayers and the trolls and the guys that jump in the comments, man, eat the dick up till you hiccup. Get up off my sack, man. Y'all see me in public and y'all dab me up and y'all love me. And y'all be the same ones with a fake troll account talking bad on me because, well, we're from the same city and I'm doing what you can't do. You know what they say. Men do what they want, boys do what they can. Keep doing what you can. And do what I want. And I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to get up out of here, back to the grind, baby, back to the grind, back to the grind. But anyways, these jails, these penitentiaries, these mo's, these gangs are all just crazier world inside of a already crazy world we live in. And as always, y'all know what I'm doing. Just trying to keep y'all entertained. Oh, you're not entertained? And like always, this is Jay Williams. Let's live life. And to all my real ones, and there are some real ones watching, just still watching me. Man, y'all know how we do. Salute. Big B's in this. Yeah, you got what you had coming. Salute to the boys that handled that.